Welcome to TMZ Live. Harvey Levin here.
Charles here.
I loved the Super Bowl last night.
Really?
I really loved it.
Even though it was a blowout game and it was never really in question.
I'll tell you why. Because I was shocked at how poorly the Chiefs played.
Right.
And I was so impressed by the way the Eagles played. It was so interesting to watch it that way.
I know you weren't just about the sports. There had to be something else that you enjoyed.
No, I swear to God, I was really into this game. I really was. But halftime show is something we've been talking about for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Yeah.
And my money was on Kendrick Lamar actually singing or rapping that verse where he called
certified
pedophile, which was the big question. We talked about it, and I remember you got the story last week that the Fox lawyers and the NFL lawyers were looking over it.
Right.
I thought they were going to do it, and I was
thought
wrong.
He was going to do it, and they were going to censor him, and that's not what happened. And by the way, he clearly played into the fact that this was a big topic of a conversation leading up to his performance, because right off the bat, or almost near the start of it, he referenced Drake's lawsuit against Universal Music Group for defamation for that very line. And he referenced it, and then when it got up to that point, well, here's what he did.
I want to make a move. I want to perform their favorite song, but you know they love to sue.
What song?
Yeah, that song. Say, Drake, I hear you like I'm young. You better not ever go to cell block 1. To any that talk to 'em and they in love, just make sure you hide your little sister from them. They tell me Chubb's the only one to get your hand-me-downs. Party at the party playing with his nose now. Baka got a weird case, why is he around? Certified lover boy, certified. I'm on him tough. I'ma do my stuff. Why you trolling like a, ain't you tired? Trying to strike a chord and it's probably A minor.
So he did A minor, but he didn't do the pedophile line.
A minor he could always get away with because that was a double entendre.
Right. But I am really surprised at that. And I also thought that Kendrick was going to take a stand because remember, at the Grammys.
Well, he had nothing to do with that, right?
No,
That's
it's CBS
right.
and the Academy. But I think that was even bolder than if he sang it, and I'll tell you why. That if he had sung that at the Grammys, at least that's his performance.
Right.
The fact that they decided to play that and use that line is bolder than if Kendrick had actually done it live.
At the Grammys.
At the Grammys.
Yeah, right.
So that's why I thought the stage was set for him to do it.
By the way, Serena, we have
the best.
Great surprise. Yeah.
And we'll get into that.
Yeah.
But I got to say, it really surprised me that he played along on this.
So I don't know how much of a choice he had in this. You got to remember that there are several people who have their hands in this. Obviously, there's what Kendrick wants to do, but the other parties are Roc Nation, who produce the halftime show, Apple Music, which is also a partner in producing it,
right.
Fox, which is airing it, and the NFL. And all of those parties have to decide, do we want to risk a lawsuit?
Well, they could split the judgment 4 ways.
Listen, we're going to go all in on this, guys. Pass the hat around. No, but you get it. Like corporate lawyers go, is it worth it, guys? Yeah, maybe he's not going to sue, but maybe he does.
Can I just say, I can tell you what the corporate lawyers did.
Guys, there's a lot of risk.
There is significant risk here, and you know that you are going to be sued because he sued Universal Music Group, and you're going to have to then defend it and pay a lot of money for lawyers' fees.
Defend it, even if you win.
I know the drill. I know exactly what that. You'll probably win, but there's no guarantee, and I've heard it a million times.
I think this was smart of him not to say it. I mean, like you said, obviously, I don't think he could because there would be lawsuits. But if he did, and he got sued, and there are FCC complaints and all the things that we know would have happened, that would have become the narrative, and that would have been the story. As it is, he still got to slip it in there, but he's like, I didn't say it. And so now we're still talking about it. People are still associating Drake with it. Kendrick won. That little smirk he gave when he said, say Drake, and looked right in the camera and gave that little smile, he knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah, and instead now people get to talk about the actual performance. I mean, we're still talking about this.
It doesn't surprise you guys that he didn't take a stand and said, this is my song, I'm going to sing it my way?
I thought he would sing it and force them to actually
bleep it,
and that way it's covered. He gets
the
cred.
That's
for
right.
having said it.
That's right.
And then it's on the corporate lawyers for shutting it down. Then, you know what I mean? But this way, he was on board with it, clearly, because he just didn't say it.
I mean, but I think your way would have been, that's what I would have expected.
That's the win-win for
I'm
everybody.
surprised.
He wins and he gets the cred, and the lawyers win because it didn't actually air.
He got the controversy without creating the controversy, and that was really smart.
I forgot that Drake dated Serena Williams. I just forgot. And
I did too. I didn't remember until this morning, and I was like, oh.
Not just dated. They had like such a messy breakup. His song Too Good, where he says, I'm too good for you. You took my love for granted. He said that song was about her. And then on his last album, he had a song called Middle of the Ocean, where he called her husband, Alexis Ohanian, a groupie. So it's been very contentious. Like he wrote that song about Alexis like almost a decade after they broke up. It still hits Drake. So for Kendrick to bring Serena out there and have her
and
dance
do a crip
during
walk.
Not Like Us, during that song, it's such brilliant levels of petty. You got to respect it.
So do you think obviously he knew, because before the halftime show went on, Drake actually went on a little bit of a rant about his exes. And you got to remember, he also
do you think he
SZA.
knew that? Do you think he knew Serena? Well, he knew SZA was going to be
SZA
on.
was going to be in it,
Right.
And he dated her.
I don't know that he knew Serena
I
was
don't know
going
if
to be
he
on.
knew about Serena, but something got him all in a tizzy about his exes.
Whoever in your life gave you time, gave you energy, gave you money, gave you heart, gave you soul, gave everything that you ever had to somebody, and they played with you and wasted your time, wasted your energy, wasted your money. I want y'all to turn up to this song. This is for all y'all exes that ever thought that they could play you in their life. If you're doing better than your ex, I want to see you.
God, it's like Real Husbands of Beverly Hills or something.
He could have just been saying that as a thing about exes in general, leading into the song, but come on.
Remember, one of Drake's biggest hits is In My Feelings. The man is constantly in his feelings, and he is feeling all kinds of feelings today.
Patrice from Virginia. First of all, let's not be surprised that Drake reacted the way he did, because that's definitely on brand for Drake. Everything he performs is based on his emotions. And then having his exes up there, I think that was definitely on purpose. And I'm low-key wondering, did Serena call and ask if she could be part of it? Or was Kendrick already tooting that up? You know what I mean? I just feel like the entire thing, I thought it was great. And even taking or keeping the P word out of it, we all know what he's saying. We all know the insinuation. Let's be serious.
Oh, yeah, of course we do. But Serena was awesome. Serena was great. The Chiefs weren't the only losers. There were
one of their fans, maybe their
the biggest
lead fan.
Yep.
Really took it on the chin. Talking about Taylor Swift, there was what happened during the game, which we are going to get to in a second, and then there's what President Trump actually went out of his way to say this morning about Taylor.
Right.
And I just don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I know.
The most unsurprising thing.
Well, the only reason I say is because he also picked the Chiefs before the game, right? He did an interview and was asked, all right, who are you going with? Not surprisingly, he went with the Chiefs, and
because he wanted to deflect himself.
And he referenced the fact that he loved the quarterback and the quarterback's wife, who had been Brittany Mahomes, of course, a very vocal Trump supporter. So he picked the Chiefs. And then he goes after Taylor Swift, saying that she had the worst night.
Because Taylor Swift went against him, too. He doesn't leave anything off the table when it comes to that.
Well, this is what he was referencing. Remember, he was there in the Superdome when this happened. That knowing look on her face as she's just like, are they booing me? They're definitely booing me.
Yeah,
but why?
you literally can read her face there. I mean, it's so clear. So then, after that, which I'm sure she didn't expect, this morning, the president doubles down on that.
He says the only one that had a tougher night than the Kansas City Chiefs was Taylor Swift. She got booed out of the stadium. MAGA is very unforgiving. I don't know how much of it was MAGA and how much of it were Eagles fans.
Yeah, and she didn't get booed out of the stadium. I mean, she ended up staying through the game. He was the one that left the game early. By the way, at the same time that Taylor was getting booed, there had just been a controversial call in the game that had gone down, so it also could have tied into that.
No, this
but-
was on the Jumbotron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's called cover, Brendan. That's not what happened.
Hannah, Lynchburg, Virginia. Look, I think Taylor seems like an unbothered queen to me for getting booed. She doesn't care at all. But I don't know who's having a worse day. Travis Kelce losing, his girlfriend getting booed, and then his ex-girlfriend is rooting for the other team.
Oh, yeah, we didn't talk
Kayla
about that.
Nicole was on the field celebrating with the Eagles and admitted that she was now on their bandwagon. So she's fully just admitting, yep, I'm going with the enemy of my
enemy is my friend.
Is my best friend.
Wow. Okay, we are going to take a break.
All right, when we come back, the Super Bowl ad, maybe the most controversial one. Kanye West bought a 30-second spot, and that website he's teasing, his website, has gone full Nazi. So how in the world did this get through the censors? He got some answers. If Kanye West had a football, I think he would be spiking it today because I think he feels like he pulled one over on
maybe
large numbers of people who saw his Super Bowl ad. Now, where you are, you might not have seen this because it only ran in 3 cities.
No, it may have run in more.
Well,
the local stations may have run it all over the country.
But
right.
he planned the buy was for Los Angeles,
Philly.
Atlanta, and Philly.
Right.
But this ad, 30-second spot, which cost him $8 million, was promoting his website, which might seem innocent.
It's a bizarre ad. I mean, he doesn't say anything, essentially.
It's very similar to the local ad he bought last year during the Super Bowl. This is now a thing he's doing. But
he says nothing.
Literally next to nothing. He just talks about getting a grill, spent all the money on this grill, and
and it's over.
And it's over. So, the problem, if you saw that ad, you might have gone to Yeezy.com.
And there was only one item. It's sort of like Raising Cain, but the Nazi version.
The Nazi version. Instead of chicken fingers,
right,
you get this. That is the one thing that is for sale at Yeezy.com. White T-shirt with a swastika.
Kind of says it all.
It sure does.
Pretty unbelievable in light of the rant that he went on X recently, announcing he's a Nazi, calling himself Adolf Hitler. Now he has a single T-shirt with a swastika on it. And if you needed a reminder of who he is and whether he was sincere about these beliefs, here it is. The scary thing is he's moving a lot of this merch. There's sources that say he moved 100,000 of these shirts for $2 million in revenue. So it's pretty incredible commentary on where we are as a country right now.
That's shocking.
So it makes
maybe wonder, not shocking. But it's really troubling.
Yes, definitely.
Wow.
Very troubling.
So the question, how did the ad get on?
Right, because this would have been something he had to buy.
Well, and not just that. On Thursday and Friday is when he went on that anti-Semitic rant.
When he flat out said,
I love Hitler.
Nazi. Yeah. I love Hitler. Said all that stuff.
So this was a couple of days before the Super Bowl, so the question, why did the ad run?
Well, here is the process that we're told. This is the approval process. On Friday, as he was posting that stuff, the ad goes to people at Fox for approval. And what they're looking at, they're basing it purely on the content of the ad.
And it looked innocent enough. It was just him.
He says nothing.
And there was nothing on the website.
When you went to Yeezy.com on Friday, it was still
blank.
Usual. No, it wasn't blank.
I thought it was blank.
Usual Yeezy merchandise that would be there.
Oh, right.
Shoes, shirts,
so it seemed innocent.
Bodysuits.
Seemed innocent.
And so it gets approved. What no one was looking at what he was putting on his social media. Now, we're told that he bought the ad through an ad agency, and then the ad agency goes to Fox. We're told it is typically the ad agency's job to vet what the client has going on outside of this commercial.
We are told Fox had issues with the ad agency not giving a heads up on this thing.
Right.
Well, here's what I also don't understand is since 2022, he's had these noxious views. So why is he not on a sort of do not fly list for commercials during the Super Bowl? It's not just the content of the ad is maybe innocuous, but Kanye West has been this figure for a number of years. So
because he's always forgiven. You know what I mean? It's like at a point, people kind of just brush it off and say, well, it's Kanye, he was having an episode, this and that. I mean, he gets...
But he's no different than David Duke now. David Duke would never be able to get a commercial buy, even if he was in a dentist chair.
I agree with you, but I'm just saying, I think he's a one-off in that sense.
I got it. But you know what, though, Derek? I don't know. If David Duke had the $8 million and wanted to do an ad, I don't know. These days, in the environment of the country and everyone embracing free speech...
You're right.
Then maybe he would get the ad.
Well, I never thought in a million years that I would feel bad for Kim Kardashian and for Kanye's children. And while the Super Bowl couldn't get him off, I'm glad he's at least off from X.
Yeah, although that was not over the anti-Semitism, that was over him posting
with pornography.
Right. By the way, that ad is not running anymore on any Fox stations as a result of what's on the website now.
Right. Okay, we are going to move on.
Yes, down in New Orleans, where Bill Belichick was proving there may be some grudges that he holds, and also that he might be about to walk down the aisle with his girlfriend, Jordan Hudson. So her attire all weekend,
I love her,
was just throwing jabs.
I just love her.
At people who clearly, I would think Bill Belichick, or at the very least Jordan, thinks did him wrong. She was walking around on Saturday with a shirt that said that the Falcons were the champions the year that they played the Super Bowl against the Patriots and Bill Belichick. Of course, that was the game where the Patriots came from behind. It was 28-3 when they started their comeback and eventually won the game. So, little trolling there because Bill had actually interviewed for a head coaching job at the Falcons last year. And
pettiness works with her.
And same thing happened on Sunday. She was wearing a jacket that certainly was defending Bill's good name. But everyone is looking at that ring that she was walking around with all weekend because everyone's wondering if they're, going to actually tie the knot here.
That ring has the ring of an engagement to it. It really does.
Got a big old jewel in it.
And she knows what she's doing, by the way.
Well, they were asked about it on Sunday, and here's what they had to say.
Congratulations on the wedding, on the proposal.
Have a good one.
Congratulations on the proposal, Bill.
There was a photog trying to pull a fast one, right?
Yeah, didn't work.
Engagement or not, Jordan Hudson won this weekend. She is now a household name in the NFL world. And even outside of the troll job and the ring and engagement and Bill, even Thursday night, Snoop Dogg made a joke about her at the NFL Honors Award ceremony. And she is, again, I can't stress enough, she is on top of the world right now.
She was in, was it the Dunkin' commercial?
And she was in the Dunkin' Donuts
commercial.
Yes,
I know. Okay. We are going to take a break.
All right. When we come back, we just talked about the Dunkin's commercial. How about Bud Light?
Yeah,
how did they do? Because, they've lost a lot in sales, 40% since Dylan Mulvaney. So are Post Malone, Shane Gillis, and Peyton Manning enough to bring them back? We're going to be joined by former head of marketing for Anheuser-Busch. What does he think about this new term for the beer?
TMZ's got every freaking thing. Big celebs, big stories, big events.
Justin Timberlake made Portland kids' dream come true by joining a bike bus ride. And they always listen to Justin Timberlake.
Cry me a river when they fall. Yeah, right.
It's TMZ.
So, Super Bowl commercials. I know you're all about the game. You loved the game itself. What did you think of the commercials?
Can I just ask for a second? Why are you making fun of that?
Because...
No, wait, there's something behind this.
I'm going to tell you why. Because in years prior, you've never been so in love with the game and more in tune with the game itself. Like, you watch it.
Does that bother you?
I'm just curious what changed.
It just seems like it bothers
you. And it was a boring game for you to be so...
I wasn't bored at all. I just wasn't bored.
I think this shows
I'm just interested how you're calling me out of this thing.
So, commercials. What do you think about commercials? I'm not calling you out. Wow, why do you feel so attacked? I'm talking to you about Super Bowl Sunday.
History.
Wow. Okay, well, if we want to talk about history. Super Bowl commercial.
Okay, I really liked the Billy Crystal Meg Ryan commercial. I thought that was hysterical.
That was good.
I thought that was really funny.
Sydney Sweeney, it could have been a better punch.
I liked Sydney Sweeney in that. I thought that was funny.
The big one everyone looks for every year is what is Anheuser-Busch going to do with the Budweiser commercial.
Right. Especially now.
Especially the Budweiser commercial, the Clydesdales, and that was cute. That one, that's an easy one for them. The big problem they have is Bud Light, which was knocked off the top of the charts, of the beer charts years ago because of the Dylan Mulvaney backlash. So they had a commercial that ran during the game that clearly, I think, was them trying to swing the pendulum back the other way. Did it work? Will it work? We're going to get into that with someone who knows Anheuser-Busch very well, but here is a little bit of that ad.
You want to go fishing tomorrow? I got a colonoscopy tomorrow.
Fellas, I accidentally threw a lame party.
Okay, Ted.
They're on their way. This is incredible.
Your mower smokes meat?
Oh, a smoker cuts grass.
Hell yeah.
I spent most of my money on this.
New rig? Fully custom. How many Bud Lights can you fit in that puppy?
As many Bud Lights as it takes.
A lot of Bud Lights.
They went full bro, right? That was like, this guy's having a lame party. You just have some cool guys come over with some cool gadgets. This is the polar opposite of what they were conveying with Dylan Mulvaney, right? Will it work? Because they used to be number one, and now they're, I think, third ranked among beers. So Anson Frericks used to work for more than 10 years with Anheuser-Busch. Was an exec there and knew this product in and out. He has now written a very interesting book called Last Call for Bud Light,
that is ominous.
The fall and future of America's favorite beer. So Anson is joining us now for his review on their Super Bowl attempted comeback. Anson, welcome to TMZ Live.
Thanks for having me. Well, I would at least say that this commercial is a step in the right direction. They didn't have Dylan Mulvaney in it, so that was the ad that made them lose millions of customers, and the stock dropped by $40 billion since then. So I'd say this commercial is a step in the right direction. The one thing I had an issue with this ad is that there's nothing memorable about the ad. It's going to be a call out at the water cooler across the country. If you think about some of the best Bud Light ads or Budweiser ads, they have call outs like "What's Up?" or there's the Real Men of Genius or Dilly Dilly. That's my big issue with this commercial. It's nothing memorable. It's nice. They had Peyton Manning, they had Post Malone, they had Shane Gillis. Step in the right direction, but I don't know if this is going to turn beer sales around.
Well, I mean, I agree with you, but look, a couple of things. One is American consumers are so fickle that if they were drinking Bud Light for years and there's this one commercial or, Instagram post that they object to, I just don't understand. Yeah, maybe they boycott for 2 weeks, but, Kid Rock first shot up the beer and then started drinking the beer. So I don't get the grudge here. I really don't understand this grudge.
Yet.
Yeah.
You're right. Most people, they only have a boycott that lasts for 2 weeks. This one's lasted almost 2 years at this point, where the sales are still down 40%. Now, I think if you take a look at the people that are still drinking Bud Light again, I mean, a lot of times you follow the money. Dana White was given a $100 million UFC contract. You have the same thing with kind of Shane Gillis was given a lot of money. I think Kid Rock, he had some Anheuser-Busch executives showed up at his house and gave him sort of a personal apology for getting involved in these things. I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, this company, they can get redeemed, but the path to redemption, it goes through forgiveness. But the only way to get forgiven is it actually admitting that you made a mistake. And so they can run all these great Super Bowl ads all they want, but until you have executives take accountability for the Dylan Mulvaney campaign, I just don't see sales coming back anytime soon.
What if instead of Dylan Mulvaney, what if they put two gay guys on? Because there wouldn't be that kind of an agenda necessarily that you talked about.
But that they'd be trying to reach that demographic, right?
Yeah. Would that have caused a backlash?
I don't know.
Be honest.
I don't necessarily know, because Bud Light, they do sponsor a lot of gay bars, for example, because a lot of people, they drink beer at gay bars. I mean, I was president of Anheuser-Busch. I remember, I think our biggest account in Denver was a gay bar. I think it was called Uncle Charlie's or something. And so a lot of people there, they would drink beer, and no one had an issue with Bud Light sponsoring sort of the
well,
gay bars.
No. I'm not saying gay people wouldn't embrace it. I'm saying if the core audience, would they have reacted badly to that?
I think it all depends on who it was. I think that if they were like, two gay guys that were into sports or into sort of music and they weren't necessarily very polarizing, I don't think there would have been an issue. I think it's the bigger issue is that Dylan Mulvaney spent a lot of time with Joe Biden, was at the White House, was advocating for a lot of just controversial issues, whether you're on the left or you're on the right. Again, bi-election campaign against women in sports, gender affirmation. These are just very politicized issues. Dylan was at the forefront of that. I think it's more that Dylan was a politicized person. That was the bigger issue, not necessarily that Dylan was transgender.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Anson, I appreciate your insight.
I'm gonna read your book. I'm really interested.
I will say that the title of your book doesn't sound like you have a very positive outlook on what the future is like for Bud Light. But we appreciate you joining us.
I'm going to read it. It really sounds interesting.
No, thank you. But I do have a positive outlook, and I want this company to recover. This is sort of a great American iconic brand. There's thousands of companies that work at the organization, thousands more. They're wholesalers and retailers. A lot of them have gotten fired over the last couple of years, and I got a future where I think it's very bright for this company. I'm just not very bullish into the current leadership and the current direction that it's going.
Got it.
All right.
Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
Okay, we are going to take a break.
Very revealing about the whole business.
No, really interesting.
All right, when we come back, the Village people are ready to sue, going after comedian Jim Jeffries because he was talking about YMCA. The problem is, as far as they're concerned, he said it's a gay anthem, that YMCA is a gay anthem. Where would he ever get that idea?
I have no idea.
Well, guess what? Victor Willis, the cop, is ready to go to court. The resurgence of YMCA, obviously, as President Trump used the song throughout his campaign, doing the dance, getting lots of people doing that dance. Obviously, we've spoken to Victor Willis, who is the cop from the Village People. He's excited that the song is living on this way, right? And that is more popular than...
But he has a gripe.
He's got a major gripe about what people think about this song. And not only does he have a gripe about it, he's actually ready to sue over it and has now threatened to sue comedian Jim Jeffries because
it's fun to play in an LA courtroom.
Yeah. Is that the remix?
That's the remix.
Well, Jim was on his podcast last month and was talking about what he saw as the irony of Donald Trump's followers and fans being fans of YMCA. It's the language he used that has now gotten him threatened with a lawsuit. This is what Jim said.
The Village People, like what they've done for a buck, right? Let's be honest. What is the YMCA song about? It's about
Dudes get in a hostel?
It's showers in a hostel. Right? When you're a young man who's been kicked out of your home, there's a place you can go. I said, young man, when you're short on your day. And everyone, all these right-wing people are dancing around to basically a song about bumming in the shower. Now, they're 5 gay guys of different races.
Yeah.
And they're like, they shouldn't typically been voting for Trump, right? But that's their payday. They're back in the charts. They're making a lot of money again. They get to do a big concert. So they've sold their soul a little bit.
Well, Victor Willis, by the way, for the record, is not gay.
Not gay, right.
And he
don't know about the other members, but...
Right, and he's had a gripe over this for a long time, saying YMCA is not a gay anthem. I will just tell you, as somebody who grew up in the 70s, when this song was huge, in certain places, it was a gay anthem.
Yeah, I mean, it was taken that way.
And it was that way for a lot of...
But Victor said now in this letter that his wife and manager, Karen Willis, is fired off to Jim Jeffries, said, you are now on the clock. You've got 10 days to retract this, make an apology, or we're going to take legal action.
I have a serious question. Has there ever been a more litigious music group than the Village People? It seems like whenever we talk about them, it's always because they're sending cease and desists to different people. They did this with Donald Trump for a while until they started to embrace him because their numbers were going up. And now they're going after Jim Jeffries. And I would understand if they were mad if he maybe made this joke at like a Netflix special or some big event. But he's doing this on his podcast, and I'm sure his podcast gets good listenership, but at the same time, it's not like everyone's talking about it.
Hello, everyone. I'm Candace Cooper from Scottsdale, Arizona. I have to agree with Jim Jeffries on this one. We all deserve a pass. The outfits say different. I mean,
I don't know what you're talking about.
We have no idea what you mean.
No clue.
Oh, wait, go back to that video.
What?
You know, where was this shot?
It looks like San Francisco.
I'm just looking at the billboards behind them.
Oh.
Anyway, moving on. By the way, For what it's worth, the threat seems to have worked because we're told that Jim Jeffries plans to apologize.
By the way, I've been listening to YMCA nonstop the last 2 weeks. Okay,
weirdly, just on Friday, you guys remember?
I know, I was playing it during
commercial break. She was over here just like playing it. What is going on?
We are going to move on.
Yes, moving on to Justin Baldoni and some emotion, if not almost tears, if not full tears, while he is on a podcast called Gents Talk, talking about just getting very emotional and that he's having anxiety about having a really bad year. Here's what
we should say. This was done before Blake filed her lawsuit.
Right. Now, there had certainly been a lot of talk about the feud between himself and Blake.
It was very
when
public.
the movie came
Very
out.
public.
That was very public. But there were no lawsuits at this point when he recorded this. But here's what he said about this difficult year.
This morning, I sent a text message to my best friend, Jamie, and the president of my company, Tara. And I told them that I wasn't in the best place. I told them that I was exhausted, that I haven't given myself time to recover or time to heal. I had a intense year, a lot of material success, and a lot of emotional stress. It was very hard on me and my family. And I wear a lot of hats, and I carry a lot because I love what I do. I've realized that I just haven't given myself the time to heal.
Yeah, I listened to this whole podcast, you guys. It was a lot. It was like very heavy. At the very end, he talks about how like the day and the topic is all about healing, which I thought was kind of interesting because obviously this took place months ago when all the drama had first unfolded between him and Blake. So you can see like he is in such a bad state. But another thing I quickly noticed too, you guys, was his tone. Remember we thought that voice note that he sent to Blake Lively was kind of like creepy because he's talking in this low, like crackly voice. Well, listening to this podcast, like that is exactly how he speaks. There was no difference there.
That's interesting. That's actually really, really interesting. That's
just the way he
speaks. That's the way he speaks.
I just think that's how he felt in November once all the lawsuits started. Imagine how he feels now.
Okay, we are going to take a break.
All right, when we come back, the battle to recover here in Los Angeles. And I say battle because that is what it has become for thousands of people just trying to get what their insurance companies said they would get as long as they paid their premiums. We're going to be joined by Margaret Weitzman, a friend of the show who is now going through this battle. And she may have some advice for people who are going through the same thing when we come back.
Welcome back to TMZ Live. There are hundreds and hundreds, actually thousands of people in LA that are trying to rebuild their lives after these terrible fires. I just cannot explain the devastation in this city.
The physical devastation. And now, as we try to recover, there are people, as you say, thousands, who are running into what we knew was going to happen, right? Some major red tape, especially with insurance companies. And the insurance companies are already running to the government saying,
we need more money, we need to hike the rates.
We need to raise the rates. State Farm in particular asked California last week for an emergency approval.
I mean, it's going to cost,
approve rates.
It's going to cost more than $50 billion, well over that, to bring things back in this city. But there are a lot of homeowners, they heard, from all the public officials, oh, we're going to cut the red tape, we're going to cut the red tape. They're having all sorts of problems.
Yeah, major red tape. And one of the people who is going through this, someone we've spoken to before, Margaret Weitzman, was married to Howard Weitzman, renowned attorney here in Los Angeles.
Represented O.J. Simpson for a day until Margaret said, drop him or I divorce you. Won the John DeLorean case, huge lawyer in town.
Right, and Margaret is joining us now to talk about the ordeal that she and thousands of others are going through right now. Margaret, welcome back to TMZ Live.
Thank you.
So you lost your house in the fire. You lost everything.
Completely. And I'm lucky. I have insurance. I have an insurance company. I look at my policy like every other American, and it's very, very simple. And it's got dwelling. It's got personal property. And then it has loss of use. I mean, it's a 3-page deal. And then after you get over the shock of everything, you find out that it's not going to work. Even though you paid your premiums, I've never made a claim. I sort of got talked into a public adjuster. I don't know how you feel about that. But after the public adjuster started to call me and ask me what my hobbies were, I had to get rid of them.
Wait, stop. Hobbies?
Why would he be asking about your hobbies?
Because they told me they are going to paint a picture of me to the insurance company. And I said, why? Why don't you who came up with these numbers here? Contents, just give me what it says on the paper. It's not enough. I can't rebuild. I could replace my contents. Just give me what it says. That's been my mantra. Who came up with the numbers? Not me, an insurance company did.
What kind of questions are they asking about content?
How many sets of bed linens do I have? Where do I shop? Sets of sterling that I had for the holidays. I mean, this is ridiculous. It's making me and other people I know lie. I mean, they're asking me for a picture of my closet. I don't have a picture. I'm not an influencer. I don't have pictures of my clothes. What is the purpose of this? Just to upset me? And I just don't get it. I don't know why I have to prove what I had.
Just roughly, you don't have to tell us what the amount is. Do you feel they've really lowballed you in terms of at least contents? Is it something where you're looking at it saying, are you kidding me? Or does it seem in the ballpark?
I actually don't care about the number. I just want that. I don't want to fight for it. The number is, the dwelling is unfair. I'm fortunate. I lived in a nice neighborhood with a pretty view. I can't do it for that number, but I will make do. I just don't want to fight with these people on a daily basis. And I've spent hours, sending in photographs and sending in receipts. And the more I did that, the more upset I got.
What you're saying is that they're banking on most people just waving the white flag and just taking what they offer. I get it.
100%. If I sign up with an insurance company and I pay my premium on time and I never make it deductible, can you reward me in my time of need?
No, they won't.
Can you?
Nope.
Not without, as you say, Margaret, not without a fight.
Well, look, Margaret, you and I go back a long way,
yes,
and we wish you the best
Thank
here.
you.
And we know
Thank you for listening to me.
And I'm glad you came on because a lot of people are going through the same thing.
Yeah, I have talked to people, and I think it could change. Maybe it will, but it's not enough. But just why make people go through this?
Yeah,
it's baffling. Thank you both.
Thank you,
Thank you,
and
Margaret.
we really wish you the best.
Honestly, I'd say that to we know that there are thousands of people going through this, and the frustration of being on the phone and trying to keep your calm when you are in the worst situation you've been in your life.
And desperate shape. Margaret has a safety net. There are a lot of people, Altadena and other places, that just don't.
Yeah.
We're taking a break.
All right. When we come back, Kevin Costner loving Super Bowl weekend. Do you think maybe there was a message he was trying to send here? We're going to show you where he was out and about in New Orleans when we come back.
I don't care. Look at me.
Well, if Kevin Costner got wind of the fact that, of course he got wind of the fact that his ex is now engaged to be married to Josh Connor, who was a friend of his once upon a time.
Good friend.
Kevin was not, if he's bothered by it, he certainly didn't show it at all in New Orleans, where he was everywhere, it seemed, for the Super Bowl celebration. hanging out with.
He was in a commercial too, wasn't he? I think he was.
He was?
Yeah, I think.
But hanging with Pete Davidson, down on the field. Kevin doesn't have, as far as I know, any direct connection to either team, but out riding in a pedicab with a buddy. Yeah, just having a good old time. And by the way, even was hanging with Hoda Kotb.
Hoda Kotb, that's Kimberly Guilfoyle. I thought she's in Greece now.
Well, she's the ambassador, but she can come back to the country.
I suppose. And there's Hoda. He's having a good time. Unbothered, it seems. And
maybe actually unbothered.
I think he's probably unbothered. I mean, I think
at this point.
Yeah, I think that divorce was so nasty and contentious.
Write the last check and keep it moving.
Well, he still has to pay child support.
Well, that one, but yes.
But he's not writing her any spousal support or anything like that.
Hi, I'm Tiffany from St. Louis. Look, Kevin is out there living his best life, and I love that for him.
Tiffany from St. Louis.
The Christmas tree in February?
Personal
Seriously?
foul, 15 yards.
Oh, come on.
Look, if we could leave it up all year, I would, okay? I knew you guys were going to comment on that,
Well,
so just like
a giant fake plant.
Okay. Every weekend, we put polls up on the website. We want to see how you feel about things that we posted last week. We did it over the weekend. Here are the results.
Taylor will forgive Blake. Yeah, the friendship is strong, or when hell freezes over.
It's got to be the second. I'm so surprised at that.
It's
I
that
thought it would
close?
be a much bigger margin than that.
Huh.
Shocked.
All
Okay,
right.
next. Free Wendy Williams. Hell yeah, it's an abusive guardianship, or sorry, she needs a guardian. Wow.
Ooh.
So, by the way, we have a documentary that's going to drop on Tubi on Wednesday called Saving Wendy, where I interview her. And I got to tell you, I'm on the first one there because something is wrong that she's in this guardianship, in my opinion. Okay, last one.
Last poll question. I'm scared of flying. Oof. Yep, I'm really rattled, or ridiculous, it's super safe.
It's pretty close. I'm surprised at how close that is.
I got to tell you, I fly a lot, and I would normally say ridiculous, it's super safe. I'm a little rattled.
I get it. Yeah, I get it. Okay, we're taking a break.
All right, when we come back, Mark Zuckerberg has got some new fashion, something he's modeling that fans of the Kardashians will definitely be interested in. I'd like to see Mark Zuckerberg modeling some Skims.
Interesting.
You're not going to see that. Sorry. Not yet anyway, but who knows? But he is cozying up to Kim Kardashian with this hoodie he's wearing. Kim is my lawyer.
It's interesting. You know, I was thinking about it when I saw this sweatshirt this morning. Did she ever take the bar?
Wait. Chris was in one of the Meta Super Bowl commercials.
She was.
Yep,
That's right.
With the glasses. The
That's right.
Uh-huh.
But still, right, and it was a Meta commercial.
Right.
You're right.
Interesting.
Well, it's actually a way of keeping that going.
Right.
Did she ever take the bar exam?
You mean pass the bar exam?
Or even take it?
Every now and then she studies.
And she's now playing Laura Wasser in a Ryan Murphy show.
Mm-hmm.
Laura Wasser is the big disso queen who handled all her divorces.
So if you're going to play a lawyer...
Play Laura Wasser.
Oh, I thought you were going to say if you're going to play a lawyer, might as well be a lawyer.
No,
but
I was just
of course, you got to
play
pass the bar.
Right, you got to pass the bar. It's the whole thing. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow.